up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, I got you.
How are you doing, man?
Good, bro. You?
Good. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Of course, no problem.
How's your off season going?
It's going good so far. I got home a little bit over a week ago and just been spending time with family and friends, catching up with people who haven't seen me in a while. It's been nice taking
Nice.
some
Are you throwing
downtime.
at all yet?
Not yet. I'm gonna throw, I think starting next week.
Cool. Did you set that program up yourself or did the Diamondbacks do that for you?
They helped me set it up. We worked together on it.
Cool. Is
Yeah.
your arm like sore at all from the long year?
No, I mean it never really got super sore, but tired, I would say, is more of the right way to say it because the long season it adds up, and then at the end when you just stop throwing all of a sudden it feels pretty good to get some rest. Definitely.
Yeah. So now that you're not throwing for until next week, have you done anything baseball related or are you taking a little break?
I'm taking a little mental break for sure. Just been catching up on rest and you know letting my body kind of reset before I get started training again for the off season.
Cool. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have an interview with Daniel Eagen, the number 13th prospect in the Diamondbacks organization. Thank you for taking time and doing this with me.
No problem, of course.
We'll just start. So you played college ball at how do you say it? I'm sorry,
Presbyterian college.
Presbyterian College. You had a little bit of an arm injury. How did you manage to overcome that? And do you think it helped you become a better pitcher now?
Yeah, definitely. So I had a lot of like shoulder problems during that time, and my arm wasn't really getting the chance to like recover from that. And so I had to take a step back and stop throwing for a little bit and see what was causing my arm to be in so much pain at the time. And then I had to take a lot of time myself rehabbing it, doing physical therapy, figuring out what made my body feel good, and then along the way in doing that, I figured out routines that work for me, certain exercises that work specifically for me to help me, feel the best before I go out there and throw on any given day. And so I think I learned a lot about my body physically, and I learned a lot about, the mental side of it too, of how like being sidelined from an injury, it can suck at sometimes. And so, you know, I learned a lot from that time when I was hurt, and I think it's definitely made me turn me into the pitcher that I am now.
Cool. What are some of those drills? Do you throw medicine balls? Do you lift the days you don't pitch?
Yeah, it was more of just figuring out what drills did not like help me with like my shoulder specifically, and then like turning those into drills that did help me. And so a lot of it was like just warm up based stuff, like getting my arm prepped for throwing. And then specifically on the back end of it was like arm care stuff, like making sure that I was taking care of my arm after I was throwing, and you know getting the right exercises needed for that. And so it had a lot to do with changing the med ball routine. I do plyos like I would say like 3 times a week now during the season. Back then, I used to be like an everyday kind of guy, and that can definitely add some fatigue and soreness to your arm, unnecessary soreness. And then I did a lot of band focused stuff like range of motion, internal, external, shorter range of motion stuff.
Cool. Yeah, arm injuries are such a problem in baseball right now.
Definitely, yeah, it's trending that way, but also people are starting to bounce back a lot better from them. It seems like,
Yeah, it seems like the surgery is working.
yeah,
But like even at my age, on my 13U team, we had three different guys that went down with elbow injuries.
yeah, and that's crazy. I think a lot of that has at a young age has to do with like the workload because when I was younger, I was able to, especially in high school, just kind of pick up the ball and throw it, and not have to focus too much about my prep work, but if I was going to be, taking infield practice, taking outfield practice, maybe even swinging the bat too much in batting practice, and then going to throw off the mound on top of that, it can add up. And then if you go and play a travel tournament and you're a shortstop for a game, and then you're a starting pitcher the next game, and then you're back at second base or shortstop again for the third game within, you know, 48 hours of each other, it can add up quickly. And I think that's how a lot of young kids find themselves getting hurt.
Yeah, I was lucky and I didn't get hurt, but last year I went from in fourth quarter I went from my school ball games, which were Monday Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, and Thursday practices, and then I would have some tournaments on the weekends. By the end of that quarter, my arm hurt so bad.
Yeah, I can tell. Like, definitely that would add up.
Yeah. So you are currently the number 13th prospect in the Diamondbacks organization. Congratulations to you.
Thank
Is
you.
it your is it your goal to be the number one prospect one day?
No, I don't think necessarily, but I really appreciate, being ranked and, thought of as a prospect. And I think that definitely helps when I'm moving throughout the organization. But ultimately the goal is just to debut with the Diamondbacks. And so whatever position that, I put myself in and, however they see me valued in the org is very important to me. And so if I can put myself in the best position possible to debut with the D-backs, that would mean a lot to me.
Cool. Do you have a timeline to when you want to get to the major leagues or just some point throughout your career?
Definitely like sooner rather than later, and I think a lot of people would say that. And so I'm working very hard to make it a possibility for next year or the year after, even to debut. That would be really really cool, and I think that I can definitely get there with a lot of hard work.
Cool. To be honest with you, you were flying through the minors this year. I thought you had a chance at it this year because the Diamondbacks, they had so many injuries in their rotation and their bullpen.
Right. Yeah, we had a lot of injuries and a lot of guys go down, but fortunately, I think a lot of those guys that were in the system ahead of me, like they fit in really well, and they got the call to um, go to AAA after being in AA for a little bit, and so there was kind of this time where a lot of these um, guys that were in the org for the past year or so were being told that, hey, you need to be ready to step up, and if your name's called, you need to be ready to get going, and this is a very real scenario that could happen. And so I think a lot of people are, especially on the minor league side, are excited to hopefully make their debuts soon.
Cool. So you know this the best because you flew through the minors, like I said. But when you go from like, let's say single A to double A, is it just one day where I see the videos of people when they get like their manager tells them, but do you have
Mm.
like one day to pack up your stuff, say goodbye, and leave?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember that day I got called up in Hillsboro was the Sunday at the end of the series, and we had a day game. So I spent the rest of that afternoon packing up my truck and packing up my house and saying goodbye to anyone that I could see before I flew out the next morning
Wow.
to Amarillo.
Are you still in contact with some of those guys that you left?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, those are my guys and my friends, and I'll even see them again. At camps coming up, and then in spring training uh, during the springtime. So it's, I miss them obviously, spending a lot of my year with some of those guys. But uh, yeah, I'm still in contact with all of them. They're still my friends, and we all get along really well.
Cool. Who has been the best hitter you faced in the minors?
Oh, wow. Um, when I was in Hillsboro, I got to face guys like Charlie Condon and Jared Thomas with the Rockies system. I got to face James Tibbs a couple times when he was with the Giants, and then he got traded. Um, and then I also faced a lot of guys in the Mariners system, like Lazaro Montez and Cole Emerson and Michael Arroyo, who are top 100 prospects for baseball. And so there was a lot of high talent in that league. So those guys definitely come to mind.
Cool. With the Mariners organization, he's unfortunately injured now, but did you by chance fish Tyler Locklear before you went to Arizona?
No, I never did. I think he was in AAA
Cool.
for most of the year.
If you could face one guy in the minors right now, who would it be?
Oh wow. Honestly, I want to face some of my teammates that I haven't faced, and so hopefully in springtime we'll get some when we do inter squad stuff. We'll get some matchups where I can face guys like Slade Caldwell and Drew Jones because I haven't pitched against them yet, and we always talk about what would happen if I did face them, and so that would be cool.
Cool. In 10 at bats, how many homers is Slade hitting off you?
Zero.
Really?
Yeah, Slade's not hitting a home run off me.
Wow. Slade is insane, so you have nasty stuff.
No, he's great. He's great. I'm just digging on him a little bit. He's great.
Cool. That's the thing, you can never give your teammates credit. How was your draft party the day you got drafted?
It was great. I had it on the second day of the draft, and I invited a bunch of uh, close friends, and I had a bunch of my family members was there as well, and I also had all my coaches from college at the time. So that was really special to me that they traveled all the way from where I went to school to my house in Raleigh, North Carolina, and so it meant a lot to me to have those guys there. And then after I got the call, I because of the unexpected factor of the draft, I didn't invite, the whole world to my draft party. But after I did get the call and got drafted, I told anyone that wanted to come to my house and celebrate with me and, share the memories that I was going to make that day.
Dude, that's so tough. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would be the coolest thing besides the fact that you did your dream. Just like, I have this picture in my head, me doing it, and then my mom and my dad right next to me. I think that's just so cool to be along with your family there.
Yeah. It's really special. And it's definitely one of the best moments of my life for sure.
Do you remember what went through your head right when they called your name?
Well, I got the call that Arizona wanted to pick me for the pick that I got, and it completely threw me off guard, and I honestly didn't know what to say, and I was just like sitting there, they're like, Arizona's gonna wanting to take you here, and I was like, blanked for a second and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I took that phone call in private with my mom and my dad there. And then I walked outside to all my friends and family and just kind of sat there, not really saying anything. They were kind of like not knowing what was happening. And then they were just watching the TV. Their phones were out. And when the Arizona pick came in, they all, erupted.
Cool. Who was on that phone call? Was it the GM like Hazen, the scouting directors there, the manager?
It was just my agent. They were in contact with
Cool.
my agent, and then my agent gave me a call and was like, "Hey, I got Arizona lined up."
When you woke up on draft day, which team did you think was going to draft you, if any team?
Mm. So, leading up to the draft, I had a lot of interest from a lot of different teams, but I wouldn't say I wanted to be drafted by a certain team. I grew up a Yankees fan, so that would have been really cool if the Yankees drafted me. But obviously not playing favorites on draft day because at the end of the day, it could be anybody. So I didn't have really a general idea of who was going to pick me on draft day, but I had a lot of good talks with a lot of different teams leading up before the draft.
Cool. Are you glad? I'm glad you came to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I am too. They've been so welcoming, and also like the people in the system are great. The my teammates are awesome. They're helping me along the way, learn the ropes, and the staff is also just amazing. They take really good care of us.
That's sick. So your fastball, curveball combination has gotten a lot of attention. Who taught you how to throw that?
I've been throwing my curveball the same grip since I was like 12, 13 years old. So I guess, ever since I was your age, that's when I started throwing my curveball. And it's obviously had some different shapes at certain points, and after getting drafted, making sure that those fastball and curveball shapes are in line with what they envision for me as a pitcher. And so just hammering down on the things that make me a good pitcher and like fine tuning those was like a huge help in being drafted. But honestly, the fastball and the curveball, they've been the same since, I was your age and then leading up through high school and then into college. So
Cool. So, just the way your stats look and your personality, you're one of those guys that works really hard. But when you were like 12, 13, there's some dudes where they're in the majors now where like they hit 820 their 13U season. Were you one of those guys that just dominated, or did you slowly perfect and become great now?
no, I was definitely a late bloomer. I wasn't the tallest kid or the fastest kid or the strongest kid on my travel team. And I always just had a knack for being a pretty good pitcher. I was always kind of like, you know, able to have really good pitching performances as a little kid. And so I started like not focusing as much on the hitting side of things, like kind of getting through high school and was like, okay, if I'm a good pitcher, I'm gonna just, focus on becoming the best pitcher that I can be. And so that took a lot of hard work and time. And obviously I wasn't, major league talent right away after working so hard on pitching. So I took my time and I went to a small school where I thought I could, really come out of my shell and um, perform at my best ability there. And thankfully it worked out. And yeah, now I'm here.
Cool. That's the other thing I feel like with social media. Like you'll see dudes that throw up their stats and you're like, dang, I'll never be at that level. They're already committed to D1. But at sometimes the smaller schools where you can focus it on yourself, become a good teammate, and become a great player are what will make you farther in the long run.
Definitely. What I've learned is that if you're good, they'll come and find you. So there's no way that somebody can have, an uber amount of talent and then just get completely unnoticed. So if you're able to put yourself in a good position to be seen, but also like understand that a lot of scouting comes from, results, and not only that, but just also like seeing someone with your own eyes. And so if you're able to, put up results somewhere and then get people to come out and see you, you can be drafted, recruited, scouted out of anywhere.
Cool. How many offers did you have coming out of your senior year?
I had a few like um, D2 JUCOs. Oh, not a lot of like scholarship offers for Division 1. I think Presbyterian and maybe VMI was like the only scholarship offer that I had. Besides that, a lot of walk-on interest from schools in my conference at Presbyterian, like High Point and Winthrop. But I really wanted to, get my education paid for at that time. So I thought that was a huge help.
Cool. Before you got all these offers, what was your dream school if you had one?
Mm. I grew up a North Carolina fan, the Tar Heels. So I would have loved to go there. A lot of my friends at the time were also going to NC State, and so I probably would have had to choose between North Carolina or NC State. I would have loved to go there as a regular student.
Cool. What like so when you're in college, it kind of teaches you how to become a young adult. How did you manage to balance your schoolwork and your academics along with your baseball stuff off the field?
Yeah, I think I really just like honed in on where my feet were. Like if I was at the baseball field, I wasn't going to worry about, a test coming up the next day or something. And if I was in the classroom or at study hall or, doing homework, I wasn't, going to be totally obsessed with how I can, become a better pitcher. It was like, I have to get the schoolwork done or else, in college, there are consequences, especially at a small private school where academics are so like held to a high standard. There are expectations for all these guys in the classroom to perform, and so if I didn't, uh, get good results in the classroom, then I wasn't going to be able to play for the team that I was on, anyways. And so, just focusing on like where I was at the time, like no matter where it was, like in the weight room or the training room, just like completely giving all my focus and attention onto where I was at that moment.
Cool. Were there days in college where that alarm clock went off and you didn't want to get out of bed and do anything productive?
100%. And I will say that like people think that that's like uh that might be like a lazy knack, but the college grind is real, and anyone who's ever been through it understands that like waking up one day and just missing class, like it's going to happen just because your body is not uh it's not like in the best position to perform to your best ability that day. Like it happens, and I'm not saying that it's like 100% completely okay, but at the same time, like it's just part of the college grind. And so there were definitely days where I had to wake up at like 5 o'clock and get to the field super early because we were running sprints one morning, or where I had to stay up in the classroom studying until 2 in the morning, and I couldn't get barely 8 hours of sleep that night. And so it definitely takes a toll on your body and your mental for sure.
Cool. When you had those days, what did you tell yourself that like did you tell yourself you need to get work done or did you just kind of take a off day?
I kind of just told myself like I always wanted to play professional baseball. And so I was like, if I have to do these things in order to get to this point, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to do them. So if I had an assignment that was due at midnight and, I was going to get an F in that class, let's say, if I didn't turn it in, then I was like, okay, I really have to turn in this assignment at midnight or else, it just can trickle down all these goals and it can trickle down and mess up all these goals that I have for myself in the future. And so I don't want to, you know, mess up any chances that I have of, getting drafted or becoming a pro. I want to put myself in the best spot.
Cool. It wasn't as big back then as it is now, but when you were in college, did you use AI at all for your assignments?
No, it really wasn't that big. I would say like maybe my last year was starting to come about, but I was taking classes that were geared towards my major at the time, and so I was very interested in what I was learning for the most part, and so I didn't have to turn towards AI to help me for my
Cool.
assignments.
If you were in college now, would you use it?
I don't know. I guess it would just depend on if the teachers allowed me to.
Yeah.
A lot of teachers, when I was at school, would like be hard on like finding out if stuff that kids wrote was AI. And a lot of times they were really good at catching kids if they did use AI. And so even if that happened and I saw somebody get reprimanded for using AI, I would be, scared to use it anyways. So
Yeah, I'm a pretty good student and I don't use it, but like the teachers now at my school, they have this thing where they can check it with AI if AI wrote it, and a lot of kids are using it this year.
yeah, I think it can be useful for like just like general knowledge if you're like interested about something, or if you're like not sure and you don't really have anyone to answer a question for you, you can use it for that. But I definitely wouldn't ask it to like write an essay for you or um, summarize something that you need to summarize. I think it's more useful just to find out things about the world, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So on a start day, how do you prepare to go out and shove?
So on my start days, I really try to like separate my prep work from the outing. And so I spend a lot, I would say about 2 hours total, just like doing my warm up, where normally other days in the week it would take maybe 30 minutes. But I really like to take my time and make sure I'm, checking off all the boxes of, stuff that I like to do to get my body in the best position to throw. I do a lot of mobility work, stretching, activation, and then also while I'm doing that, just trying not to like overdo it, like pacing myself, breathing a lot, like not tiring myself out. Because if I get tired before I go out there, then that kind of ruins the whole point of the warm up. And so just like doing all the things that I normally do pre outing, but spacing it out, conditioning myself, and then the mental side, I usually like to throw on my beats, listen to whatever music I'm feeling for that day. It's either like rock if I'm like super pumped going into it, or maybe some like chill, vibey, like R&B stuff if I'm kind of like trying to mellow out. Maybe I'm like too amped up and I want to like settle down a little bit.
Cool. So on a start day, how do you prepare to look at scouting reports?
Um, It really just depends on the lineup that I'm facing that day. A lot of times in that Northwest League, there's only five other teams in that league, so I had seen those guys a lot uh, going into the middle of the season, and so I didn't focus a lot on the scattering reports, but I focused a lot on what I had done against them last time, what I could have done differently if what I did against them the last time worked well, and then maybe just like doubling down on those things that I had success with. So it wasn't as much like hitter to hitter based. And I know that as I'll move up through the minor leagues, the hitters get better and the approaches change. And so I'll have to, learn and adjust off of that. But I think a lot of where I have success is just with my strengths. And so I try to focus on making my strengths as best as possible and then going on and attacking the plan that we set before the game.
Cool. I was playing MLB The Show last night with my sister. She was pitching Yu Darvish, and I found out that he used MLB The Show to look at scouting reports the day before he went out.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Who is your World Series winner this year?
Oh man, the Blue Jays have been looking really good. I know they've only played 2 games, but they're crushing the Yankees right now. On
Yeah,
the NL side, the Dodgers always look good. I mean, Shohei's been killing it. Their bullpen's starting to come along too. So I think either the Brewers or the Dodgers out of the NL, and then the Blue Jays or the Tigers. I think the
yeah, the
Tigers.
Blue Jays are looking real good right now.
Yeah.
And the Yankees played the Red Sox well, which the Red Sox were good, so that kind of makes me worry how good the Blue Jays are.
Yeah, true. Because if the Yankees are taking care of business against the Red Sox, but struggling against the Jays, then maybe the Jays are in for a running.
Yeah. So as a pitcher, when you let up a tank, which rarely happens, do you get mad when a hitter pimps it or bat flips it?
Um, I guess it would just depend on the situation. Most of the time, no, because at the end of the day, baseball, it's all about the fans love the home runs and they love the action. And so if I get beat and they decide to, you know, pimp it or something like that, most of the time I don't think it's personal or geared towards me. If I ever feel that it is, I'll usually just like calm myself, take a breath, and then like make it personal when the next time they come up to the plate and like maybe hunt a strikeout against that guy or get super pumped if I put him away. So I don't think I'm like too upset if they're pimping it. But on the other hand, I know that teammates of mine, if they see something like that and they're in the dugout watching, then that's a different story. If I'm in the dugout and I see somebody just completely dogging one of my teammates and I feel like it's for no reason, then I know me and a bunch of my other teammates will say something and get on them. And it's never like bad like fights you'll see on TV. It's more of just like like a keeping people in check kind of thing.
Cool. When you, let's say someone bat flips a homer off you, that next at bat, do you get extra motivated to the point where you're throwing harder, or is it just your main goal to get that guy out?
I'd say a little bit of both. Like I don't try to throw harder, but I think naturally the adrenaline that comes, like knowing that guy took me deep last time, I think it usually makes me throw a little bit harder. Like when I'm amped up and I have a lot of adrenaline going, then I move faster and naturally I'm just going to throw the ball harder.
Cool. What about are you throwing off the mound?
Say that again.
What about are you throwing off the mound like speed wise with your fastball?
Oh, this season I was mostly 92 to 95 for the most part.
Is it your goal one day to reach 100 or just get out in the big leagues?
Definitely. Like I love to throw hard. Obviously, I want to get outs in the big leagues, but from like a pure like physical peak standpoint for myself, I'd love to be able to, develop enough to where I could throw that hard.
Cool. Are you watching guys in the majors now like Paul Skeens, even Justin Martinez on the Diamondbacks? Are you looking at what they're doing to add to what you can to reach 100?
Maybe not as much with the velocity base because I know that that's very specific to each kind of pitcher, and it's kind of like you have to figure out what works for you physically, and then turning on those gears when you need them. So I know that there's a lot of things I got to work on physically in order to get to that 100-mile-an-hour point. So I'm not too concerned with picking up on the way that those guys throw the ball hard, but I do like if a pitcher fits kind of my profile, my type, I'll look at their pitches, how they throw them, like what their mindset is when they throw those pitches, because I know that it could be very relative to what I'm working on too.
Cool. If you could steal one major league pitcher's pitch and add it to your repertoire, what pitch would it be?
Mm, that's a good question. I'd say like somebody's splitter or changeup. I'd probably have to go with like a Sasaki splitter. That'd be nasty.
That looks nasty against the Phillies right now.
Yeah, it's working really good. I'm glad that he's having success now too.
Yeah, because he kind of struggled at the start of the year, and then as soon as he went back from that rehab assignment, he's been incredible.
Yeah, he's a really good arm and really electric out there. So, and that splitter is nasty.
Yeah. So you were the minor league pitcher of the year. First of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that kind of motivating to the point where you know you can get guys out, but at the same time, how does that keep you motivated knowing that you still want an award?
Yeah, well, I had a lot of success at the high A level this year, and then when I got promoted to double A, I had a really good first outing, but then the outings after that, I didn't have as much success. And so it was like understanding that, I had a bunch of success and I had things that were working for me up in high A, but then you get promoted and it's a whole new level, and so things change. And so it was a great thing to happen for me, honestly, because I learned a lot about the changes, and that was towards the end of the season too. So learning a lot about how to care for my body at the end of the season, that stage of the season. And so I'm super grateful to, get the minor league pitcher of the year award. I worked really hard this year, and I feel like, at a certain point in the season, I really thought that I could have been like at a pitcher of the year level. And so I was really happy to, get recognized for that.
Cool.
But
How
at
did
the
you
same time, like really like uh like thankful that I got that award for this year, but then next year it's a whole another year. And so understanding that, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have expectations of what I need to do next year. And so I gotta come back stronger than ever.
is it your goal to go back to back on that award?
Not necessarily. I'd say my goal would be just to debut next year and like really come out of the gates like strong. And I want to be, just continuing that snowball of what I had last year and just really, you know, putting myself in a good spot.
Cool. How did you find out you won that award? Was it a phone call?
Yeah, yeah. I got a phone call from a few guys with the D-backs, and then they posted it on Instagram too. I think that was the first way I found out actually was the Instagram post, and then I had a couple directors call me with the D-backs.
Wow, that's sick. So you threw an immaculate inning. When you were, say, second batter struck him out, did you know you were close to an immaculate inning, or did you try not think about that?
I would say after the first strike against the third batter, I was like, okay, let's do this. And I think that anybody that gets in that position will tell you that like sometimes a lot of guys won't even think about it, but um, for me especially, I'm a strikeout guy too, so I kind of keep track of things like that internally in my head, just like subconsciously, not actually like caring about them, but I'm like, okay, that was seven, and then throwing it again, and like, okay, that's eight. Like I think that on that ninth pitch, I was really focused on making sure that pitch was like right over the plate.
Yeah, because you can't miss, otherwise you're kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Do you remember the three batters you struck out?
Um. No, I don't. I don't think so. I know they were on the Tri Cities Dust Devils, but no, I don't remember.
I don't blame you. You struck out a lot of dudes this year.
Thank you.
Yep. So let's say in 3 years, or like you say, next year, you're in the big leagues, you achieved your goal. What's still going to keep you motivated to perform at that level? Because you already reached your prior goal.
Yeah, I think I'm a guy who just like loves the game and I love being good at the game. And so I will always be a student of the game and learn from others. And I will always be somebody where, I'm never going to be as good as I can be in my eyes. So I'm going to always continue to get better no matter what stage of the game I'm at, whether it's now or whether I'm, maybe in the big leagues for 10 years from now and I'm older. And so I think I'll always just be like hungry to learn different things, learn from my teammates, my coaches, so I think that'll keep me going.
Cool. When you're in the big leagues, do you want to have like a certain number of wins, all-star appearances, or do you just want to have a good, solid career and help the team?
Yeah, I think anyone who can say they had a good solid career in the big leagues is it's very respectable, and
Yeah.
it's obviously a big deal to a bunch of people, even being drafted, let alone uh, becoming a major leaguer. A lot of people will value, and so I really just want to be the best version of myself on and off the field at all times. And whether that plan is for me to, be a big leaguer and have a great long career, that's awesome. But if for some reason it doesn't work out that way, I'm not going to have any regrets about it. And I'll be super thankful for the opportunities and also just like understand that there's a plan for everything for me.
Cool. So, what is one hitter you're excited to face in the big leagues?
Mm. Well, growing up a Yankees fan, I watched a lot of Aaron Judge. So that would kind of be like one of those moments where it's like, wow, like this is it. Like I'm facing one of the best hitters of all time right now. And so that would be really cool to be able to do
That would be really cool, but I feel like I would be scared just because he's so like massive.
that. You can't be scared though. You gotta trust your stuff. And there's a reason he's in the big leagues at the if I was there facing him, I would be at the same level as him. So I
Yep.
gotta act like that, and I gotta you know big dog up, man up, and dig down and go right at him as if he were just another guy.
Yeah, that's the thing I've learned. Even if based off stats, this guy's way better than you, you gotta figure out a way to compete. In the back of your mind, you think you're better than him to get him out.
Right.
What is one piece of advice you would tell a teammate right now that has the same goal as you?
Um, I will say one piece of advice that I got that was huge was just like all about perspective and like understanding that not only was this the first year of my career, but it's the first year of hopefully a long career. And so all of these short term things that happen, such as like, if a guy has a bad outing one week, it's like, it's just one week of hopefully many other weeks and opportunities to throw the baseball against another team. And so just understanding that hopefully I have a long career ahead of me and to not get upset at the little things or things that are very, short term.
Cool. Do you have any pregame rituals?
Hmm. I really like using the cold and hot tubs before the game. I feel like that's just like kind of a little mental like get ready thing at the field to kind of start my routine. I usually do that first, and then it's like after that, okay, now we get started.
Cool. What do you like more, the cold or the hot?
The hot, definitely. I feel like anyone that says they like the cold tub more is a little crazy.
Well, I do polar plunges and I like the cold way
You
more.
do? You
Yeah.
do. Why is that?
I don't like I don't know if it's just because I live in Arizona where it's so hot
That's
all the
true.
time and I'm
That's
like
true.
used to the heat, but like I like the way the cold like if I have a sore arm after playing shortstop for a weekend, I'll get in the cold and it kind of helps it go away a little bit with the ice. So I think
Yeah.
it's just that I'm used to the hot.
Yeah, that the Arizona heat is no joke, so I could totally get that.
Yeah. So now we're gonna start a fun segue that this is my first time ever doing. It's 5 questions. If you agree with it, you're gonna say strike. If you disagree with it, you're gonna say ball. You down?
Okay, let's do it.
Pineapple does belong on pizza.
Ball.
Really?
Ball. I've never tried it, but I'm a straight pepperoni guy on my pizza, so I don't know if I can get down with that. But I will try it one day. I haven't yet. I don't know when I'm going to try it. I'm kind of scared too cuz I'm scared that I'm going to like it, but for now, ball. Do you like
Cool.
pineapple on pizza?
It kind of depends on the day. Sometimes I'll just like eat straight cheese, and other days I'll have like the supreme pizza.
Okay, cool. Mix it up a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
Me too.
it's totally fine to text someone back with just an emoji.
Strike. I do that all the time with my buddies, especially.
Cool. It's totally fine to wear the same pair of socks to bed 2 nights in a row.
Ball. Ball, especially if I've been, walking around all day or active all day in those socks. Definitely got to change those out.
Cool. Dogs are better than cats.
Ooh, I might go. I might go like strike ABS challenged ball because I have both dogs and cats back at home, and I grew up with cats first, and then as I got older, I got a dog, and so I had like a love for both. I'd say
Cool. What dogs do you have?
I have a German Shepherd, an American Bulldog, and then I have a little orange cat.
Cool. See,
Yeah.
I'm all the way with dogs on this one just because I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are allergic to cats, so I get that.
Cereal is actually just soup.
I can get down with that. That's a strike. At the
Cool.
end of the day, it's just a cold soup,
Cool.
a cold sweet soup.
Yeah, that's all I have for you. Do you have anything for me?
Yeah, man. How'd you get into being such a, big D-backs fan? Obviously, you're from Arizona, but you're very into it, I see, and I like appreciate your interest in, me as a minor leaguer. But how'd you get so like interested with not only D-backs but just like baseball in general? Like, how'd you get into where you are now?
Really quick, I'll answer this with as much time as we have left, but is it okay if I resend you a link?
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
What's up?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you got me.
Yep.
Thank you again for going just a couple minutes extra.
Oh, of course. No problem, man.
Do you want me to answer your question now?
Yeah, please. How'd you get
So,
into what you're doing?
to be honest with the Diamondbacks, I think it was just my dad that got me into it, to be honest. Like, there's pictures of me when I was either 2 or 3. I was sitting on his lap watching a Diamondbacks game with him, and then he took me to a couple games, and then ever since then, it's like been my only love.
Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. Just growing up around it.
Yeah, and then so that's kind of on the game side, and then I've always known like everything about baseball to be honest, not just the Diamondbacks, the whole game. And then as I've gotten older, I've realized that the Diamondbacks, they're like their farm system's kind of loaded. You, Drew Jones, Tommy Troy, who else is down there? Slade Caldwell. Their system's loaded, and I like Corbin Carroll when he was down there too. I realized in 2020 and 2021, there's 2 years where they weren't an amazing team. That
Mhm.
like in a couple of years, we're gonna have all this talent that came up through it, and we're gonna be good for several years to come, which is what happened. And then I just kind of saw your name, and I was keeping an eye on you for a while. And every fifth day, you were just going out there and shoving, and I loved what you were doing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I definitely agree
Yeah.
with you. Like I love the way our system looks right now. I think we got a lot of young talent and also like a lot of unrecognized talent too. So I think that there's a lot of like hidden gems in our org, and I can't wait to, see all myself and like teammates of mine like hopefully, break out and make an impact for the D-backs one day.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about Mike Hazen. Like, with all due respect to the Padres, they at the trade deadline they gutted their whole farm system for Mason Miller, guys like that, and then unfortunately lost in the playoffs. Hazen will
Hmm.
like go out and get that big fish that they need to help their team, but he restocks the farm system incredibly well.
Yeah, I agree.
You got anything else for me?
That's it, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you for sitting down with me. This was a pleasure.
Of course, you as well. No problem.
Have a great rest of your off season, and hopefully we'll see you at the big league soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good one.
you.
See ya.
See ya. That's it for my interview with Daniel Eagen. A huge shout out to that dude. That dog, that man is a dog. He goes out and pitches every fifth day, will do absolutely anything to help his team win. And he's the 13th best prospect in the Diamondbacks organization, minor league pitcher of the year this year. He went out and shoved with a 2.99 ERA and 117.1 innings pitched with 153 strikeouts. He has a nasty fastball with a great curveball. Strikeout stuff galore. Make sure to watch out for his name. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.